All right, guys. So we are ready with our customer detail report. We are able to show some important details over here. We are able to show our top customer by revenue. What is the number of orders we are getting from our top customer, and what is the revenue we are generating, right? But one thing I would like to emphasize over here, and that is if I'm looking into the details with respect to my slicer. So let us go forward with the details of 2022. So if I'm clicking on 2022, you'll get to see the changes happening on the rest of the visuals, right? So in the year of 2022, we had around 10 and a half number of unique customers. We had around $875 of revenue per customer, right? You can see the graph changing and what was the total number of customers we had on every specific month. That detail you can get over here itself. And one more thing you can see over here that in the year of 2022, Turner was having the maximum number of orders. And just because Jordan Turner was maximum having the maximum number of orders, and from Jordan Turner itself, we were getting the maximum revenue. That's why we can see the name of Jordan Turner over here, right? In a similar way, in 2021, you will get to see that Janet Munoz is having the maximum revenue, and that's why we can see the name of Mrs. Janet Munoz. But if I'm looking into the year of 2020, so you'll get to see a detail that Aaron Wang, Mr. Aaron Wang is having the name with the maximum number of orders, or Mr. Aaron Wang is actually generating the maximum revenue. And you can see that alone, Mr. Aaron Wang is generating the revenue of $3 million, right? And over here itself, you can see that we are not able to see this value, right? We are not able to see the name of Mr. Aaron Wang to be generating the revenue up to $3 million. So this seems quite fishy, right? I mean, this seems a kind of value which we can't actually expect just because from a single customer itself, if you are generating a revenue up to $3 million, and that doesn't seem really quite realistic, right? So one thing I would like to show you over here, and that is the number of orders for each and every single user you can see over here, or for each and every single customer we are having, they are generating the similar number of orders. So one order is associated with each and every single customer. In a similar way, we can see that the revenue is also being generated as the similar value. So we are getting the similar revenue from each and every single customer, and that's why at the end of the day we are getting the aggregation. So a kind of aggregate kind of value we can see in terms of revenue for all of the customers who are having one orders on their name. But this is not relevant information, right? Like for example, in SQL, you might would have seen that we are having these functions, that is a rank function and a rank function. So these rank functions and rank functions are being used for this specific scenario itself. So for example, let me give you an example of rating. So if I'm having around 100 number of chess players, and if I want to rank these chess players on the basis of the number of wins they had. So for example, we are having the top 5 chess players who are having 500 wins on their name. So each and every single chess player is having a similar number of wins on their name, right? So just because 500 seems to be the similar value for our top 5 chess players, so we can't actually come up with one of the name in terms of alphabetical order, and we can't actually show the value as total number of wins as 2500, which is the summation of all of the 5 players, right? That doesn't really seem realistic, right? So that's why what exactly we can do is that either we can show that with respect to the rating of the chess players, we are having multiple chess players who are having the maximum number of wins, which is coming out to be similar to each other. Or one thing I can do is that I can simply represent their winning by a dash. So either I can simply show that value as 500, or I can simply show a value as dash over there. So this is something we can get, and just for this specific scenario, wherein just because I'm getting such a value wherein Aaron Bank is as a name is appearing over here, where I'm getting the similar number of orders for each and every single customer. And just because to the stakeholder or to the manager, I can't actually show a particular name with the maximum number of orders on their name. So just because of that, what exactly we can do is that we can simply make the use of a function over here, and that function is has one values function. So this has one values function works just in a similar way, just like you are having this rank function or a rank function. So just like in SQL, you used to do the ranking on the of different rows on the basis of a specific value as a measure. In a similar way, you can do the ranking over here for the different customers in terms of revenue. So you can simply come up with this HasOneValues function, and we can see one thing over here in my DAX calculation itself. I can simply come up with a new measurement, right? I can simply make the use of this HasOneValues function, and by making the use of it, I can come up with the total orders, total name, and I can come up with the full name, right? So let me get into my DAX calculation. Let us see that how exactly this HasOneValues function used to work and how we can come up with the proper insight. So let me get into my DAX again. Let us go forward with calculating a new measurement. So what exactly I will be doing is that I will be simply calculating the total orders, total revenue, and the full name for the customer detail. Just because I don't want this name to be shown on the basis of the alphabetical order for the multiple customers we are having in terms of the number of orders, right? Just because I'm not exactly interested into this specific detail, and I want the name to be shown as that specific name which is having the maximum number of orders on their name, or who is having the maximum number of orders on their name. So there is no point to make the use of this analysis. So that's why let us go forward with the practical implementation of the has one values function, and let me get into my DAX. Let us create a new quick measure over here. You can simply put it in your table itself, which was having the measurement calculations. Okay, let me get into my new measure. Let me create the total orders with respect to customer detail. So you'll get to see this formula appearing, and we will be looking into that how exactly this formula is working, right? Let us get into that DAX calculation. Let us create this new measure. So I'm going to name this measure as total orders for the customer detail. Right? So if I'm getting, so you can simply make the use of this function as HasOneValue. So for example, if your customer lookup customer key is having only one value. So for it's just like the customer rating is just like the chess rating, wherein for example, if I'm having the chess player with the maximum number of wins to be greater than the rest of the players. So if the top player is having 500 wins on his name and the rest of the players are having less than 501 number of wins, then just like that, just because in this particular situation, you can see that a particular chess player is having the number of wins as 501, which is coming out to be unique as compared to the rest of the values. Just because we're having just one value associated with a chess player, so that's why in that specific case, I can simply show the total number of wins, right? So whatever column is representing the total number of wins associated, that is the number 501 in that column. I can simply associate with that chess player. But if I'm not exactly having that value like 501, and if I'm having the repeated top win values F as 500, then instead of representing that value as total wins, I can simply come up with a dash, right? So so I'm having these multiple chess players who are having the similar number of max wins, and the max wins they're having, you can simply replace it with a dash. So that's exactly how you can work with it. Let me go forward with my customer lookup table, customer key. So if it is having a unique value, then if it is having a unique value, you can simply represent your total orders. And if it is not having a unique value, you can simply replace it with a dash. So you might be getting the idea with respect to it, right? What exactly we are doing is that if my customer is having the maximum, if my customer is having a unique value as the unique number of orders, then I can simply represent that number of orders. Otherwise, I can replace the dash in place of total orders, right? So let us calculate it. Let me click enter over here. Okay. So now you're having a total orders as per the customer detail. You can see it getting created over here. So if I'm just dragging and dropping it over here, so you'll get to see some changes, right? So with respect to Mr. Aaron Bank, so name is also not exactly correct, right? We need to see a proper name over here. But at this point, 804 is not exactly the total number of orders. Dash is going to be the number of orders. As if one of the customer might would have been having the number of orders as 2, then 2 would have been the number which I could have represented over here. But just because all of the values are coming out to be as 1, so an aggregation I'm seeing over here, right? So instead of getting this value, I should get a dash. Let us see. So instead of representing total orders over here, let me represent the total orders as per the customer detail, and you can see a dash, right? And why exactly this dash is appearing? Just because multiple customers are having the maximum number of orders on their name. In a similar way, we can represent the revenue as well, and we can represent that name as well. So kind of similar calculation you'll get to see. So let us go forward with calculating it. Let me again get into my table measure. Let us create a new measure over here. And similar name, you need to provide a similar criteria or similar procedure will be applied over here as well. Again, you have to make the use of HasOneValues function, the same logic. If the revenue is coming out to be similar, or if the revenue is coming out to be greater for a specific customer as compared to the rest of the customers, then that particular customer revenue should be shown. Otherwise, a dash should be shown. So I would be showing a similar kind of measurement, right? Let me go forward with my total revenue. Let me get into my customer detail. So if I'm having one value, with respect to customer lookup, okay, then I can simply represent the total revenue over here. Otherwise, I can represent a dash over here. Right? So a similar kind of logic you can apply over here as well. Let us see how it is working. Let me calculate it. Okay. And instead of representing this specific revenue value over here, we are going to represent that DAX measurement. Again, a dash value you can see, but you will be able to see a proper value getting associated if you are looking into the year as 2021. Right? And why you are able to see a proper value? Just because in this particular case, we are actually getting a particular customer who is having the number of orders greater than the rest of the customers, right? So only when you're having the similar number of orders for each and every single customer, then only you will get to see this dash appearing over here. So there is some formatting that you need to do wherein I don't want this decimal places to be shown for the number of orders. So with respect to the callout value, the display units value display places, you can keep it as 0. And this seems quite fine, right? For the revenue as well, you can keep the value decimal places up to 1. So, okay, you can keep it as 2 as well. That is completely up to you. Okay, and just finally for the name, we need to bring in the changes. We need to see the name in such a way wherein alphabetical order shouldn't be there for the representation. Let me get into my table measure as well. Let us get the full name for customer detail. So if my customer detail is having a unique value for the customer key, a similar logic again you have to apply. Again and again, I'm writing the same code so that you will get familiar with it, right? So with respect to customer lookup, you need to simply come up with the customer key. Okay. If it is having a unique value, then you can simply come up with the max. So again, a kind of aggregation operation we need to apply over here. So I need to show the max of my customer name. Okay. And Otherwise, if I'm not exactly having such a name, then I can represent it as multiple customers are having a great revenue on their name, right? Okay, and you can see a kind of red mark over here. Why exactly it is appearing? Just because we haven't actually closed this parenthesis, right? Let me show unique value for the customer key as the first, not exactly the first name. I'm interested in the full name, right? Let us represent the full name, and if I'm having multiple values, we will be representing multiple customers. Let us calculate it. Let us see what we are getting as the full name. Now, once it has been created, let us see what exactly it is representing, right? So from the customer lookup table, it was representing the full name, which is not something we need to represent at this point. We need to show the full name. And now you can get a name, right? An appropriate name you are able to see when the year is 2021, and this information seems quite fine as well. But the thing is that if I'm interested in this information in the year of 2020, so you will get to see multiple customers are having the maximum number of orders on their name, and they're generating the equal revenue, right? So this information seems quite fine, right? So definitely in front of the stakeholders or in front of the executive, we won't be showing this information as the aggregation of multiple revenues. So that's exactly how you can make the use of this has one values function. And in most of the scenarios, you won't be making the use of it, but just because in such kind of scenarios wherein the information is coming out to be similar for multiple rows, you can simply come up with this, right? So that's exactly how you can work with this has one values function. And let us meet in the next video with some more important insights. So thank you. All right, guys. So up till now, we haven't actually explored about this product report, right? So we have explored about the customer detail report and the map report and the executive dashboard report as well. So we have completed our executive dashboard report. We were showing all of the important numbers in which the stakeholder or the executive is quite interested in. Then with respect to our map visual, we have represented the orders in multiple countries, and then we came up with a slicer which is representing these multiple continents. And then with respect to our customer detail report as well, we were representing the information with respect to multiple customers, that what is the revenue we are generating from each and every single customer, and who are our top 100 customers, right? So each and every single information we have represented over here. So this is a kind of information in which the manager is quite interested in, right? With respect to the customer detail report. But we haven't actually explored about this product detail report, right? Like for example, if you are presenting in front of a stakeholder, or if you are presenting in front of an investor again, then investor will be first of all looking upon these details, that what is the revenue, the sum of the revenue you have generated, then month by month breakdown, and what are your top 10 categories which is providing you with the maximum orders or with the max revenue. Then if your orders are being distributed in multiple countries, then that insight you can provide, right? That where are your top orders you are getting from what specific countries, right? And which specific country or continent or region is providing the maximum number of orders or max revenue. Now, it's important to emphasize upon this fact as well, that if we are having multiple product categories, then with respect to these multiple product categories, if we are expecting the orders to be there in this specific month to be around 500. So if we are able to reach that specific value or not, that is something we need to look upon, right? So we can simply come up with this visual wherein we can come up with this gate chart. So this gate chart will be representing this information, that if we are coming up with a target value, then if we are able to reach to that target value or not. So that is something we used to look upon whenever we are making the use of this gate chart. So with respect to this customer report only, we are going to make the use of this gate chart now, and this gate chart will be helping you out to get to know that if you are expecting a revenue or orders, or let us say the profit. then if you are able to reach to that profit, revenue, or orders or not with respect to the current month, that is something you can show to the stakeholders, right? So we will be exploring about the gauge chart, and we will be getting started with respect to our product report. Let us look upon the insert option. We are going to have one of the option which will be representing the gauge chart, right? With respect to your card visuals only, you will get to see this gauge option, right? So this gauge option will be helping us out and look forward to this information, that whether if I am able to reach to the orders revenue or the profit or not. Let me go forward with this chart. Let us simply drag it and drop it. We will be bringing in the changes into this specific visual only, and then the similar kind of changes we will be reflecting with respect to the two other visuals as well. But how exactly I want the details to be shown on the basis of product name, right? So let me come up with the slicer. Okay, and you shouldn't be clicking over here, right? So that will be ultimately replacing your entire visual, right? Let us click over here on the canvas and let us look upon the slicer, which is representing multiple product names. So with respect to the product lookup table itself, you will get to see the multiple product names, right? And now the thing is that if I'm quite interested in this information, that with respect to a specific product name, if I'm expecting a number of orders, like let us go with chain or cable lock, right? So with respect to cable lock, if I'm expecting the orders to be there around 500. So whether if I'm able to reach to that 500 orders or not, that is something I will be looking upon, right? So I will be simply clicking over here. This gauge chart will be changing. It will be reflecting us the information that on the basis of the target value, if we are able to reach it or not. Okay, so let us look upon that. Let me click over here, and over here I just want to represent around 4 number of names only. You can bring in the changes into the slicer as well if you want to. At this point, we are just because we are looking into the gauge chart, so that's why I will be showing the details or formatting with respect to the gauge chart only. So over here itself, you will get to see multiple fields in which you can enter the value, right? You can enter the value, minimum value, max value. So what is the minimum number of orders I'm interested in? That is something I can pass. What is the maximum number of orders I can have? That is again something I can pass. And with respect to a specific order, if my target value is not exactly the same to be the max value, right? Like for example, max value is 400, but we are expecting the target to be there up to 300, then we can simply pass on the target value as 300, right? And the minimum value as 100, and then if we are getting the value as 150, so this seems quite relevant kind of value. So let us look upon these details. So in the value, I will be passing the total orders. Okay. And now the total orders I want to represent is with respect to the current month. So I need to bring in some kind of filters over here, right? I need to apply some filters. So the information should be shown with respect to the current month. So I'm having one of the column which is representing the information about the start of month. Okay, and with respect to the start of month only, I want to look upon the top N. So top one date or top one month I want to look upon, that is going to be the current month. So again, I want the latest month to be there, right? So latest start of month is going to will be helping us out to filter out the values on the basis of the current month. Let us apply the filter. Let us see that we were expecting. So one thing you can notice over here, that the max value is coming out to be twice of that of the current value. So for example, if I'm interested into looking into the cable lock. So cable lock was having blank number of orders, right? Okay, just because I'm not representing the information over here with respect to the max value. So you have to pass on the max value over here as well, right? And just in order to pass on the max value, we will be looking upon our target order. So we have created one of the column, right? We were multiplying that 1.1 value with respect to the previous month. And that's exactly how we were coming up with this order target, right? So you can simply drag it and drop it over here. And now you can see. So the order target was up to 2,382. That was the order target with respect to the current month, but we are not exactly able to reach the target, right? And this was an information that you were able to see with respect to our first visual as well, or with respect to the first report as well. But if I'm looking into one of the okay, kind of blank information you can see with respect to the visuals, right? And why exactly it is working like that? Let us look into that. So the reason could be that chain is not exactly providing us with any number of orders, right? There can be a situation wherein in this specific month we are not able to get any orders for chain. So let us look upon some another product name. If I'm going forward with this AWC logo cap, then with respect to AWC logo cap, I was expecting the orders to be there as 221 and I'm able to surpass the required orders, right? So you can see that 232 is the number of orders we are getting in the current month and we are able to get the total number of orders greater than the expected number of orders, right? So you are able to come up with the proper values. You are able to reach the order target that you were expecting. So in a similar way, you can come up with some multiple other visuals. You can simply represent that what was your revenue target, what was your profit target, and those information you can also represent into multiple other visuals. So this is a kind of great information. But one more thing I would like to keep over here, or one more thing I would like to show it to you over here, that if I'm not putting the order target in the target value, and if I'm displaying it in the maximum value, okay, then you will get to see a kind of complete color is being attached, right? So this complete color, when it is reaching till the end, so one information or one conclusion we can make over here, and just because this complete color is saturating the overall visual, so the number of orders that we were expecting is able to surpass the target value, right? And definitely, it won't come out to be as much as great with respect to the target value wherein we were putting the order target. But let us go forward with this only just because this looks a kind of bit more relevant, right? Like if I'm going forward with some other product name, let us go forward with classical vest. And now you can see, right? With respect to this specific product name, or let us, if I'm going forward with classical vest L, okay, again, it is meeting the requirement. Yeah. So with respect to classical vest M, this is a kind of clothing category. So we can see that our order target was up to 20, but we are not able to meet the target, right? So we were expecting the target to be there up to 20, but we are only having 16 number of orders, right? So this seems a kind of bit relevant information, and mostly to the stakeholder, you can represent the information like this only as displaying the overall gas chart with the complete value associated with that visual doesn't really seem to be great, right? So that's why this seems more relevant. And now into this specific gauge chart only, I will be bringing in the changes with respect to the formatting, and I will be copying this visual for more two times so that I can represent the information with respect to the target revenue as well and with respect to the target profit as well. But first of all, let us bring in the formatting into this specific visual itself. You can simply go forward with double clicking, or you can simply get the option over here itself. And this filtering that we have applied, most of the time you will be applying this kind of filtering, right? As you can't make the use of KPI visuals all the time. So you should be aware about that, how we can come up with the details with respect to current month. And that's why knowledge about applying the filters with respect to visuals is quite important, right? Okay, so let us get into the formatting of this visual. Let us change the title first of all. So I don't want the title to be shown like this. I want the title to be shown like monthly orders versus target. Okay, and I need to show it, or I want to align it at the center itself. You can keep the heading as heading 3 itself. The font, I would like to keep it as Sego UI. There is no need to underline it. You can simply increase the size of it if you want to. And the font, you can keep it as Sego UI. We will be bringing in some changes into this specific callout value, right? Just because I want to highlight this callout value, that what is the number of orders I'm getting with respect to this specific product category. And just because this value is quite relevant over here to be shown in front of the stakeholder. So that's why I will be making it a bit bold. But with respect to the title, there is no need to keep it as bold. So we can simply keep it as Sego UI only. And we won't be keeping it as bold, right? Okay, so we are able to represent the monthly orders with respect to target, and I want to bring in some more changes over here. So with respect to gauge axis, this seems quite fine, target. But with respect to colors, I don't want to show the specific color, right? As I want to match the formatting that I was providing in the previous videos. So I want to be shown it like this. Okay, and with respect to the target color, you can keep it as maven blue if you want to. There is no need to keep it as regarding the target color. It's completely fine if you're keeping it anything. But with respect to your fill color, you should make sure that you are matching the formatting with respect to the rest of the visuals or with respect to the rest of the report pages. Okay, and data label, I've turned it on. Absolutely, I will be turning it on. And call out value. In the call out value, I need to bring in some changes, right? With respect to callout value, I will be showing it as a Sego UI bold. And just because I want it to be highlighted, right? 16 is the number of orders we are getting in the current month, and 20 was the expected one, but we are not able to get it. And the display unit seems quite fine, right? Just because the orders will be there in whole number format only. So there is no need to keep any decimal places over there. Okay, so a relevant information we are able to come up with respect to a specific product name. 16 is the number of orders we are getting for that product, and 20 was the target. We are not able to reach the target, and that's why we are not able to come up with a proper gauge chart filling in the overall visual, right? So let us create two more visuals which will be representing the information with respect to our revenue and with respect to our profit. Okay, so first of all, bring in some changes into the title. I want to represent the information as total revenue versus target, and with respect to monthly profit versus target. Okay, and if you want to, one thing you can do over here is that you can simply reduce the size of the font, right? Just because the font is, just because the overall title is not exactly coming into one single line, so we can keep it as 16. And now it seems quite fine, right? So monthly revenue versus target, monthly profit versus target. So the values we have to represent properly. Data I have to add, wherein with respect to my value, I will be adding the data as total revenue. And the maximum value I want to keep over here is going to be target revenue. Right, so with respect to that specific product category only, we were expecting a target to be there as $1,257. But again, we are not able to match or we are not able to meet the target, right? Again, this insight you can deliver in front of the stakeholders. And finally, if you are able to come up with the profit or not, that is something you can also represent. Let us get into that. Let me add the values. Instead of representing total orders, we can represent total profit. With respect to maximum value, we can keep it as target profit target, right? So you are able to come up with the insights, a proper insight that with respect to this product name, that is classical West M, we are having 16 number of orders in the current month. We were expecting it to be 20, but we are not able to match that target, right? So by making the use of this gauge chart, you can see all of the important details, right? Like if you are able to meet the revenue or not, if you are able to come up with the profit or not. So these visuals can be is definitely visually appealing in front of the stakeholders, right? So that's exactly how you can come up with the gauge chart, and you can explore these things out. You can explore these visuals out into the rest of the report pages as well if you want to. But just because it's this information seems more relevant with respect to our product report, so that's why we will be coming up with this gauge chart into this specific report only. And that would be all regarding the gauge chart visual tutorial, and let us meet in the next video with some more informative content. So thank you. All right, guys. So we came across this gauge chart, right? We were representing this important information that whether if we are able to reach the required orders or not, or the required revenue or not, or required profit or not. But now at this point, we are interested in this specific information that if we are not exactly meeting the requirements, or if I'm not exactly meeting the target, then if I can come up with a color, right? I can come up with a color for the slice which will be representing this information that just because we haven't reached the target, so a kind of color should be attached with respect to our gauge chart, right? So if I'm not exactly able to meet the target, like for example, if I'm coming up with the target of 25 for this specific month for a specific product, and if I'm not exactly, and if I'm having the number of orders for this specific month for that specific product as 20, then just because we are not exactly meeting the requirement, right? So in this specific case, if I'm coming up with a value which is being derived as total orders minus the order target, right? So the total orders you had for this specific product was 20, right? And then 25 was your target. So 20 minus 25 is going to be a negative value, that is minus 5. So whenever you are getting a negative value for a specific measure, then what exactly I want is that a reddish kind of color should be associated with this visual. And if I'm coming up with the if I'm coming up with the monthly orders to be greater than the target, then I will be associating this color that is the same as that of this dark gray color. Okay, so this is something I want, or you can simply come up with this kind of color, the slice color, or you can simply represent the value that is a call out value. So based on you're getting a negative value or a positive value for your measurement, on that basis only you can come up with a color for your call out value. Okay, and definitely a stakeholder or the investor will be interested in this information that whether if you're coming up with a negative color, or whether if you're coming up with a red color if you're not meeting the requirements, and if you are coming up with this dark gray kind of color if you are meeting the requirements, just because it will be more visually appealing, right? And just because I want the charts to be there as more visually appealing, and that is the reason I can simply come up with this kind of transformation, right? And this kind of formatting that you will be applying is going to be conditional formatting. And why exactly I'm calling it as a kind of conditional formatting? Just because on the basis of a condition being met, I'm providing the formatting to my visual. So if the condition is being met with respect to a positive value, as the difference in between total orders and the orders target, then for a positive value, I can make the statement that I can simply associate a color over here that is dark gray. But if I'm coming up with a negative value, if that condition is being met, then the reddish kind of color will be associated. So the formatting is completely based upon the condition being met, and that's why we used to call it as conditional formatting. Okay, so let us move forward with creating this new measurement which will be helping us out to come up with this positive and negative value. So into my table measure itself, I'm going to come up with a new measurement, which will be representing the order target gap. Okay. So you can come up with a new measurement over here as order target gap. And this order target gap should be total orders minus target orders, or order target, right? So this will be giving us the proper insight that if I'm coming up with a positive value or a negative value. So if a negative value is there, so I want reddish color, or if the order target was greater than the total number of orders I had, then I will be getting a negative value, and then a color or formatting like reddish kind of color will be associated. Okay, so let us click enter over here. Let us see the order target cap, and a similar kind of logic will be applied with respect to revenue target cap as well. and profit target gap as well, right? Once we are done with this, let us move forward with applying the filter. Or just because I want the changes to be seen in the case of call out value, right? So you can have this option. You can see that there is a kind of FX kind of option. If you'll just hover over here, you'll get to see that we can apply the conditional formatting, and you can see you can make this property change under different conditions that you define. This is something we are going to do via making the use of our new measurement, that is order target gap. So over here in the format style, I want to put in some rules. Rules are like the condition. Okay. And I want to choose the field as order target gap. So now if my order target gap is coming out to be greater than minimum and less than equals to 0. So now why exactly I'm keeping it as less than 0? So if it is less than 0, that means we are having a negative value. And if we are having a negative value, then we want a kind of reddish kind of color. Okay, so you can simply look upon this condition. This might seem to be complicated, but instead of looking upon both the conditions, just look upon one of the condition. Okay, so if your value is coming out to be negative, a reddish kind of color should be associated. And if the color or if the value is coming out to be less than the max value and greater than the minimum value. So one thing over here, you can see that there were some products for which we were having 0 number of orders, right? So ultimately our minimum value is going to be 0 only. So if we are having a value greater than 0, then ultimately we are having a positive value, right? And if we are having a positive value, then in that specific case, I want the value to be seen, or the formatting I want to apply as a kind of light theme, light dark theme kind of color, right? Light gray kind of color. So let me click OK. Let us see if we are able to see any change. Okay, so we are not able to see the change at this point. Most of the time I've seen this thing that you won't be able to see the change at one go, right? Let us click again over here. Let me see a proper formatting, whether that is being applied over here or not. Let me click over here. And most of the time, what exactly it used to do is that it used to replace the field. As I don't want the total orders to be there, I want the order target gap. Let me click OK. Let us see if I'm meeting the requirement. Again, we are not able to see the values, right? Okay, so let us see that if we have made any change, there can be a situation or we have made a kind of mistake, right? Let me go again over here. So what if there is a specific value that is negative already? Okay, so if your minimum value is already negative, then in that specific case, you won't be able to see this color option, right? So we can't actually take the there can be situations wherein we can have the minimum value as negative as well. So that's why in this specific case, let me put 0 over here instead of putting minimum. And let us see if the changes are happening. Again, the changes are not exactly happening, right? Okay. Again, let us see. I'm putting in the rules over here with respect to my order target gap. If the value is coming out to be less than 0, a kind of reddish kind of color should be shown. If the value is coming out to be greater than equals to 0 and less than max, then I want the color to be dark gray. Okay, let us see. Okay, now we are able to see the changes, right? So you will get to see these things that on one go you are not able to see these changes happening, and maybe in the rest of the visuals as well we will get to see the similar kind of issues. But the thing is that you are finally able to do it, right? You can see that just because we were not able to meet the requirements, that's why we can show in front of the stakeholders that a kind of reddish kind of color we are getting. So this specific order value that I'm getting is not exactly meeting the target value. Okay, so it will be more visually appealing, and that is the reason why I'm keeping it in this specific color. Okay, and let's do the same thing with respect to monthly revenue versus target and monthly profit versus target as well. So again, we have to come up with a new measurement. Let us click on table measure. Let us create a new measure over here. The similar logic you have to apply for the rest of the two measurement as well. Okay, so now let us name it as revenue, target gap, and the total revenue I want at first. And from total revenue, I want to subtract target revenue, right? Let us see this value getting created, and in a similar way, I will be going forward with my profit target gap as well. So again, a similar kind of logic. Let me create a new measurement over here. And you might, I think at this point, you will be well aware about how we can come up with the conditional formatting, right? It's because you were bringing in that conditional formatting change again and again. So it will be a bit easy for you at this point, even if I'm giving you an assignment with respect to this. So with the profit target gap should be total profit minus profit target. Okay, let us click enter. Let us create this measurement. Let me put it in my conditional formatting. Let us see if I'm having a proper changes to, if I'm able to see the proper changes happening, right? Okay, so I want the revenue target gap to be there with respect to my conditional formatting. So with respect to the call out value only, let me apply this condition that a rule should be applied with respect to revenue target gap. If the value is coming out to be greater than minimum and less than 0, so negative value we are getting, that means we are not able to meet the requirement or the revenue that we were expecting. Let me come up with a reddish kind of color, and if the value is coming out to be greater than 0 and less than max value, condition seems fine. Let us go forward with this specific color. Let us see at this point if we are able to see the changes. Okay, at this point we are directly able to see the changes, right? Okay, that seems great. Now, again, with respect to my monthly profit, I will be doing the same thing. Again, you have to click over here. You have to choose rules. Then total profit. Instead of total profit, the field I will be choosing is profit target gap. Okay, if it is coming out to be less than 0, negative value we are getting. Reddish color, if it is coming out to be greater than 0, less than max value. These conditions might seem complicated to you in the beginning, but you can have the idea, right? If the value is coming out to be greater than 0, that means positive value we are having. We are done. In a similar way, we are having the value less than 0, that means negative value we are getting. We are done. Okay, don't look upon all of the conditions, just the important condition you have to look upon. Based on that, select the color, you will be able to see the change. Okay, so that's how you can come up with the conditional formatting, and that's how easy it is. For example, instead of you choosing this, if I'm going forward with some another, so you can see that for the product name that is classical vest L, right? So for this, just because I'm meeting the requirements, so the target was 14 and I'm able to come up with the orders as 21. Okay, so that's why I can see the color to be shown in a dark gray format. But if I'm not able to meet the target, you will get to see the reddish kind of color. So that's how you can come up with the conditional formatting. It's not exactly too much kind of complicated or too much required, but it will be more visually appealing if you are bringing the changes like that, right? So that would be all regarding conditional formatting, and let us meet in the next video with some more important insights. So thank you. Alright guys, so in this specific video, we are going to discuss about a new visual. So up till now, we have explored about the line visual, right? This line chart, which was representing the monthly analysis. Monthly revenue we were looking upon, and we were looking upon the monthly revenue generated by the customers as well. So that line chart was giving us that insight. But what if we want to come up with a chart which is not exactly representing a line, or which is representing a line itself, But beneath that line, I want some shading to be done, right? Some shading you can see on, or some kind of area must be enclosed within that line. So if you want something like that, then you can simply go forward with your area chart. So area chart is nothing but a kind of upgraded version of your line chart itself, wherein just like you are making the use of this line chart, now at this point, instead of making the use of this line chart or just showing the lines itself, now you will be including some shading as well. Some shading will be associated with respect to those lines and you will get to see the change in the values, right? So let us look upon that. Let me go forward with creating a new visual over here. And I want to come up with the area chart. So you can show the values as changes in the composition. So if you want to show the values like changes in the composition, then you can simply come up with this tagged area. Okay. So what exactly I will be doing is that I will be simply copying the map visual from my customer detail itself. And now with respect to this visual, I will just copy it over here itself. Because I don't want to do the formatting again and again, right? It seems quite cool. I don't want to include that trend line for my chart, but let us see how exactly we can come up with the upgraded version. So what I need to do, instead of showing this line chart, I need to show this area chart. Okay, just choose over here. You will get to see that now we are having a proper value. You can see that we are having now the shading that is being associated over here. Okay, but the inside I want to show is going to be by month. What is the profit we are generating with respect to each and every single product category. And just because of that, first of all, I don't want this trend line to be there. Okay, so just click over here. Let us remove this trend line. And now I want to bring in some changes wherein the value that I'm representing. So I don't want to show the total customers, but I want to show in the y-axis the profit. The total profit I can represent. Okay. And now you can see a difference in the way in which it is being represented. And one thing I would like to do over here, that is I want to bring in some changes into the visual. I think we clicked over here. We simply need to delete it. Yeah, that seems fine. Let me get back into my product table. Let us see upon this visual. I'm not representing the total customers by month, but I'm representing the profit by month. Let me double click over here. Let us get into our formatting. Okay. Let us double click. Let me get into my title. Let me bring in the, oh my God, let's not click Control A over here. Okay, it's ultimately choosing all of the visuals. Now, what exactly I want is that I want to show the monthly profit. That is what I'm representing. Let me keep it in the center itself. I want to horizontally align it in the center itself, right? And now let me bring in some changes with respect to the way in which this area chart is being represented. Background, you can keep, it's completely up to you. But I want some changes to be there into the lines or the shaded area. Okay, to my lines, I want to come up with a line. Okay, it seems completely fine, but in the color, I want to bring in some changes, right? I don't want the color to be shown like this, as we need to follow the formatting that we have been following up till now. Okay, so let me keep the color like this. And I want to keep the transparency up to 80% for the shaded area. That seems quite fine, but it is not exactly helping us out to get to see the difference in between that line, right? Let me keep it as 60. Let us see. Not 600. Let us keep it as 60. 60 also seems quite fine, but if I'm going forward with keeping it as 50, 50 seems great, right? So you can see a kind of complete analysis. What is the total profit we are generating with respect to the start of month? Okay, if I want to bring in the changes over here, that is something also I can do. But one more insight I would like to show it to you over here, and that is I want to show you the monthly returns as well. Okay, let me copy it, let me paste it, Control C, Control V, let us drag it below. Let us keep it above. Let's not show this much big kind of chart over here, right? Okay, this seems quite fine. Let me move forward with displaying the values with respect to monthly returns. Okay, so instead of showing the total profit, I will be showing the total returns on the y-axis. Let me get into the total returns. Let us display that. Now again, a similar kind of visual you'll get to see. One thing we can see over here, and that is the total number of returns in the month of March is coming out to be as 2. And in the rest of the months, the total returns is coming out to be as 1. Right? And this seems to be quite irrelevant, right? Just because we were not exactly getting these. I mean, in 1 month, if I'm only getting one return, then I won't be getting that much great level of number of returns, right? As I was getting a large value for the number of returns. So if it is coming out to be as 1 or 2, then we definitely need to look upon that at this point, we are reflecting the information with respect to a specific product name. That is classical West M, right? But if you'll just uncheck it, you'll get to see a proper value with respect to the total returns. So if I'll just make the use of the slicer, you'll get to see that slider. You'll get to see that as we are progressing from the month and from July 2021, you can see a kind of sudden increase, right? So 118 is the total number of returns we are getting in the month of August, right? And then in October, we are getting 137 as the total number of returns. And you can see a kind of sudden increase in the total number of returns, right? So if you're getting the values as 1 or 2, then definitely you might would have selected the one of the product name, right? So these things you always have to make sure. And if you are just coming across a situation wherein you think that a kind of irrelevant kind of value you're getting with respect to any of your visual, so that can be the case wherein you have selected one of the slicer option already. And just because of that, you're getting such a kind of value, right? So this seems quite relevant information. Now, one more thing I want to do over here, I need to bring in some changes into my total returns as well. Let me bring in the on object formatting, and into the title, I don't want to keep it as monthly profit, but I want to keep it as monthly returns, right? And one more thing I can do over here is that the color I want to keep it is going to be a bit reddish, just because I don't want the increase in the number of returns, right? So more is the increase in the number of returns, more higher your graph is going to be. And that is something I don't really want, right? So that's why I want to keep the color as to be reddish bit. And just because of that, let me go forward with these lines. And with respect to these lines only, with respect to my colors, this color seems fine, right? This color shows the proper relevant information wherein now you can see that if our profit is increasing, right? So if our profit is increasing, then that seems completely fine. But if our returns is increasing, then we are getting a kind of reddish kind of color, right? And that reddish kind of color simply states that this is something we are not exactly interested in. So reddish is not exactly a kind of color in which that will be reflecting some kind of negative information, but mostly people used to prefer this kind of coloring, right? They mostly used to prefer green as a kind of positive symbol and red as a kind of negative symbol, right? So that's why we are coming across this reddish kind of color with respect to monthly returns if we are looking into this information that there is an increase in the number of returns, right? So that would be all regarding the area chart. So you can see that area chart is nothing but a kind of upgradation. In the case of line chart only, you are able to see these lines over here with respect to every month breakdown, but an increment is there or a kind of upgradation is there that beneath this line we are looking into a shaded area, right? So kind of shaded area you'll get to see whenever you are shifting from the line chart to a area chart, and that is the only difference in between line and area chart, right? So that would be all regarding the area chart, and let us meet in the next video with some more informative content. So thank you. All right, guys. So in this specific video, we are going to discuss about a new level of looking into the details, wherein what up till now we have been looking into is the monthly profit, monthly returns, and monthly revenue. You might would have seen in the executive dashboard itself. So if the stakeholder is quite interested in this information, that what is the revenue we are generating month by month, so that was something we are showing by making the use of this line chart, right? But what if the stakeholder or the executive is asking us this question that what is the revenue you are generating year by year? And now on the similar chart itself, you should show us that what is the revenue you are generating month by month. So what exactly you are doing is that you are simply decomposing your revenue that you have earned on year basis, and then that revenue that you are earning on year basis, that you will be decomposing into multiple months. In a similar way, now if the executive is asking you this question that from month, what is the revenue you are earning week by week, right? So you have to simply decompose your month by month breakdown, or a specific month you have to break down into 4 weeks, right? And then in a similar way, if the executive is asking you this question that what is the revenue you are earning on day by day basis, right? So starting from year, you were showing the revenue, what was the revenue we were generating on every year basis. Then month, you broken down into your, then year, you broken down into your multiple months. That is a 12 months period. So 1 year was broken down into 12 months period, right? And then when you are coming from month basis to the week basis, then you are breaking down your month into multiple weeks. 1 month will be broken down on around 4 weeks period. And then if you are breaking down your weeks into multiple days, then each and every single week will be broken down into 7 days, right? So what exactly you are doing over here is that you are simply coming up with a kind of decomposition kind of criteria, right? You are simply coming up with a decomposition of your dates hierarchy. In a similar way, I can show you an example of the month of the revenue that you are generating from the multiple continents. So first of all, if the executive is asking you this question that what is the revenue you are generating in a specific continent, then that information you can provide, right? Then if the executive is asking you for this information that what is the revenue you are generating in each and every single country that is present in a specific continent, then you will be simply breaking down that continent into multiple countries. In a similar way, if the executive is asking you this question now in a country, in the multiple states, what is the revenue you are generating, then each and every single country will be broken down into the respective states, right? So what exactly you are doing is that you are coming up with a kind of decomposition that is helping you to get the details on the different levels of granularity, right? And that is what we are going to discuss about via making the use of these drill up or drill down tools. So into your area chart itself, or into your line chart itself, you will get to see that we are having this drill up and drill down kind of option. So we have already came across this drill up and drill down kind of tools, right? When we were discussing about this matrix visuals. So in the matrix visual itself, we were discussing about these things that how you can come up with the information on different levels of granularity. As first of all, we had this product category, right? And then this product category, with respect to product category, we were looking into these details that what is the revenue we are generating from every product category. Then product category, we were decomposing into product subcategory, right? What is the revenue we are generating from every subcategory? Then subcategory, we were breaking down into multiple product names. And what is the revenue is being associated with respect to these multiple product names, right? So a kind of decomposition, you can say, that was something we were doing by making the use of this drill up and drill down kind of tools. So we have already shown you a kind of example into that specific videos only, right? So now it's time to look upon these drill up and drill down kind of tools into your line chart and the area chart. That how from the year by year basis, if you are showing the revenue that you are earning, or any number that you're showing in front of the executive, how you can simply break it down into the lower levels of hierarchy, right? So either you can come up with this drill up and drill down kind of tool, or there is a kind of forked down kind of arrow, right? So if you want to simply come up with a proper picture of the hierarchy, that from the continent basis, if I'm coming to the country basis, right? And then from the country basis, if I'm coming to the week basis, or I'm sorry, to the state basis, So from continent to country to state, if I need to have a kind of proper criteria or a proper picture of these numbers and how it can be broken down, then I can simply come up with this fork down kind of arrow, right? So this is something we can get, and let us discuss about that how we can exactly represent these things into our area chart. So into your area chart itself, wherever you are coming up with your data in the x-axis itself, now we want to be showing the start of month. And you know that in the data modeling section only, we were creating this hierarchy kind of option, right? So let us look upon this information that how we can come up with the information broken down into multiple levels of hierarchy. So at this point, you can see that we are breaking down the details in terms of multiple dates, right? So what is the monthly profit that is there onto a specific date? That is something we can get over here. So what was the revenue I was generating? What was the profit I was gaining on a specific date? Like in this specific case, you can see that we are looking forward to the information on date by date basis. But what if you want to look upon the information in a more in an upper level of granularity? Then you can see that now we are looking into the information on week by week basis, right? So into a week by week basis, if you want to look upon the information, you can see that how your profit was completely dependent upon on the basis of week by week criteria. And now from week, if you want to come up with the information on the basis of month, then you can look upon the information that what was the month by month breakdown. And now on the basis of year, right? So that's how you can come up with the information, right? You can simply look upon the information in a way that how your information can be broken down into multiple levels of hierarchy. And now if you want to get the complete picture of how your information can be broken down into, or if you want to simply expand all level of hierarchy, like for example, if I want to show the information that what is the revenue I'm earning on each and every single continent. Now, with respect to continent, it will be broken down into the multiple countries where I'm selling my products. And then from country level, if I want to break it down into the multiple states, like into a specific country, I won't be having the sales in each and every single state, right? In a similar way, into a specific continent, I won't be having the sale into each and every single country. So I will be having the sale into some specific continents, and from the specific continents, I will be having the sale into some specific countries. And in a similar way, from a specific country, I will be having the sale into some specific states. Okay. So if you want to look upon the information like that, you can simply come up with this option that you can simply expand to all levels of hierarchy, right? So if you want to scroll in the downward direction via making the use of this option that looks like a kind of fork down kind of arrow, you can simply expand to each level of granularity. In a similar way, if I want to show you the information with respect to your executive dashboard as well, what you can do over here is that, like at this point, we were looking into the information on month by month basis, right? What is the revenue I'm earning on each and every single month? You can see that on ninth month that is there, or let us go forward with June. So on June, what was the revenue I was generating? Then in the month of July, in the year of 2020, what was the revenue I was generating? So I was simply breaking it down into month by month basis. So let me show it to you again, the different level of hierarchies in which I can show this information into. So first of all, if I want to show you this information on year by year basis, so let us go forward with this date. And then now with respect to my date, if I want to show the information with respect to start of year, okay, then you can see that on the basis of the information that is there on year by year basis, what is the revenue you are earning on each and every single year. That information you can get. And then as per the forecasting, you can see that you can come up with this information that as per the forecasting, what is the revenue we are expecting in the upcoming years. And that is something so special in Power BI, right? As forecasting is something we used to do in the case of machine learning, wherein just like in the case of stock price analysis, you might would have seen that when we want to come up with this information that what can be the price for this specific stock in the upcoming years, then we used to come up with this machine learning techniques, right? So just like that, if you want to come up with this information that what is the revenue you are earning, what is the revenue you are expecting in the upcoming years, then you can simply come up with this forecasting kind of tool. Okay. So now if you want to show this forecasting or not, that is completely up to you. Let me go forward with this option. Let us see if I'm not showing the forecasting. Then something else you are getting, right? Something else you can expect over here. That is the information that has been broken down into multiple years, right? So on the basis of start of year, what is the revenue you are earning? This information you can get. Now in a similar way, now from year by year, if if the executive is now interested in this information that yeah, you have shown me the complete revenue that you're earning on year by year basis. Now I'm interested in looking forward to this information that what is the revenue you are generating on month by month basis. So you have to break down a specific year into 12 months. So let us again go forward with my date, and let me show you the information with respect to start of month now. So with respect to start of month, you can see that what is the revenue we are generating on month by month basis. This information we can get now. In a similar way, if I want to show you the information with respect to start of week, you can show the information like that, right? So in this way, you can show the information, right? Like with respect to week, how you can come up with this information. Or one more thing I would like to show it to you over here, that we were looking into this quarter as well, right? So a year can be broken down into four quarters: Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. You might would have heard about these terms. So in Shark Tank, you might would have heard that the stakeholders used to ask these questions, or the investors used to ask this question, that what is the revenue you are generating in a specific year, and then quarter by quarter breakdown. So Q1 is going to be first 3 months time period. Q2 is going to be the time period from fourth month to sixth month. Q3 is going to be from seventh month to ninth month, and then Q4 10th to 12th, right? That's how we can break down these numbers. So on the basis of start of year, we can get some information. Then I can simply break it down to start of quarter, right? And then from quarter, I can break it down to start of month. And then from month, I can break it down into start of week. So that's exactly how you can come up with the different levels of granularity. And if I want to show you the information, not on terms of week, and on the basis of month, then you can simply look upon the information like this, right? So on quarter by quarter basis, you can show the information to the stakeholders. On year by year basis as well, you can show the information to the stakeholders. So it's completely up to you how you want to show your information. And just because at this point we are not exactly showing the information in terms of a specific monthly basis, so that's why let us change the title as revenue trending. Okay, let me come up with the on object formatting. Let me click over here. Let us change this name as revenue trending. Okay. And now I can simply show you the information like this only. So if you are interested in looking forward to this information via forecast as well, you can simply look upon that. So it's completely up to you, right? If you how you exactly want to show this information. So forecasting can be a kind of good criteria to show in front of the stakeholders or in front of the executive, just because they're always interested in this information, that on the basis of your previous numbers, what are the numbers you are expecting in the upcoming months or in the upcoming years. That's why this forecasting is kind of a good kind of thing, right? Let me break it down into multiple levels of hierarchy. This information you can get, or what exactly I can do is that I can simply come up with this drill down kind of tool, or you can simply go forward with the next level of hierarchy. And on the basis of that, you can come up with this information on start of quarter basis. Okay. So that's how you can come up with this information. In a similar way, let us make these changes onto our product as well. Why I'm calling it as revenue trending. So now if the executive is asking you such questions on also that now you are required to show me the information on the similar line chart, that what is the revenue you are expecting in the from month, like for example if you are delivering the results as this is the revenue we are getting on every year, then if you want to break down those numbers into multiple months, you can simply break it down. If you want to break down those number into multiple weeks, and that is also something you can do into a similar chart itself. So let me go forward with the product as well. Let us simply come up with the similar kind of information. So into your data section, let us not go forward with the date hierarchy. Let me enter it manually. So I'm interested in the information to break it down from start of year to start of quarter, then start of month, and then start of week. Okay, that's how you can show the information. If you want to turn on the forecasting as well, you can do it. That's completely up to you. But over here, you won't be getting the forecasting. As in the case of forecasting, you can only get in the case of line chart, right? Line chart, you might would have seen that again in the case of machine learning, when you are coming up with this linear kind of linear regression, you might would have seen, right? So linear regression is something we used to come up with when we are coming up with a linear kind of data, right? Or with respect to a specific use case like stock price analysis. So that's why in that specific case, we can come up with the forecasting. So in this specific case, you won't be getting it, but let us get into some other level of hierarchy. So a kind of better information we can represent, right? So year by year information, we are breaking it down. And again, just because I'm showing the information on the basis of multiple levels of hierarchy, so I won't be keeping it as monthly profit, but I will be keeping it as profit trending, right? And in a similar way, you can break down the returns information as well as returns trending if you want to, right? That's exactly how you can break the information like this. So now again, with respect to the data that you're having, you can simply click over here. Again, you can break down these numbers into multiple levels of hierarchy. Into your x-axis, let us go forward with start of year first of all. Start of year, you can break down into multiple 4 quarters, 3 months time period for each, then start of month, 12 months, and then start of week. Okay, so that's exactly how you can come up with this information, returns trending information. Let us show it with respect to the top level of hierarchy, right? So now we are having a proper information with respect to year by year breakdown, month by month, quarter, year by year, then quarter by quarter, month by month, and then week by week. You can come up with the date hierarchy as well. You can simply show the information on daily basis as well by making the use of date column. That's completely up to you. Let us save it. Let me press Control plus S. And now we are done with drill up and drill down kind of tools. Okay, so this was the kind of tools that we were discussing about. So that would be all regarding the drill up and drill down kind of tools. You can definitely make these changes from your side as well, so that you can show the relevant information to the stakeholders or to the executive, right? And that would be all. And let us meet in the next video with some more informative content and then assignment with respect to this drill up and drill down tools. So that would be all. And thank you. All right, guys. So let us move forward with our assignment 6 with respect to drill up and drill down tools. Okay. So let us discuss about each and every single key objective we are having. So first of all, in the customer detail report, we need to update the x-axis on the line chart to pull in date hierarchy. So there is one of the column that was having the complete hierarchy of dates that we have already looked upon in the previous video only. Either you can go forward with this or you can simply come up with a kind of manual start of year, then start of quarter, then start of month, and then date. It's completely up to you. If you want to go forward with the date hierarchy, you can come up with that, or you can simply manually put in the values. Okay, so that is going to be the first key objective. Now, the second key objective is to use the chart header to drill up and drill down to explore trends at each level of granularity. Again, this is something we have already looked upon, and it's not going to be too much difficult, right? And one more thing you can get over here is the forecasting, right? Again, you will be able to come up with the forecasting just because you are making the use of line chart. Just because we are not exactly exploring the area chart, but we are exploring the line chart. That's why we can come up with the forecasting as well if we want to. And in a similar way, the third key objective is asking us to test the drill mode so that we can update or we can change the granularity by selecting individual data points in the chart. And we need to come up with this information that why do some weeks look very low. So this is something you need to look upon. You need to search out from your side that how you can simply do it, and definitely you can try it out. And if you are not able to come up with the answer, we will be discussing about the solution of it in the next video itself. In a similar way, you need to come up with the fourth key objective, wherein you need to turn off the drill mode and you need to show the chart at a weekly level of granularity by default. So now again, this is something you need to look upon. You can get these functionalities into your line chart itself, but if you are not able to come up with this answer as well, definitely we will be exploring about these things into the next video only. And in the last key objective, they are asking us to turn off the drill mode and to show the chart at a weekly level. And if you are not able to show the information at a weekly level, you can absolutely show it on a monthly level as well. That is completely up to you. And definitely you can show it on the weekly level, but if the information is not exactly coming out to be as much as accurate, and if the graph doesn't really look that much as the kind of information which we can get from the monthly level, if we are not able to get from the weekly level, then it's completely up to you if you want to keep it as monthly level as well. So definitely, you can look upon these details. You can try it out from your side, and if you are not able to come up with the answer, we will be absolutely exploring about the solutions of these key objectives, right? So let us meet in the next video with the solution of each and every single key objective, and that would be all regarding our assignment with respect to drill up and drill down tools. So thank you. All right, guys, let us move forward with the solution of our sixth assignment with respect to the drill up and drill down tools. So the first key objective is in the customer detail report, we need to update the x-axis on the line chart to pull in the date hierarchy column, right? So whatever fields we were having in the date hierarchy, we will be pulling in with respect to our customer detail report. Let us look into this. So we were exactly looking upon the information of the total customers by month. So what is the number of customers we are getting, individual customers we are getting in each and every single month? That was the information we were looking upon. Let us look upon this information that what is the number of customers we are getting in a year, then in a quarter, then into a month, and then into week basis. Then on each and every single day basis or as well you can see. So you can simply come up with the dates, right? So with respect to date hierarchy, we can simply look upon the information, and let me go forward with this information, wherein instead of showing the data with respect to start of month, I can simply come up with start of. So I can show the information from start of year, then start of quarter, then month to week. Either I can come up with this date hierarchy, or let us show you how we can come up with the information manually. So number of customers we are getting on year basis, this information we can look, right? Then on the basis of quarters, 3 months each quarter is consisting of, from month January to March, we can come up with the first quarter. Then from April to June, we can come up with the second quarter, like that. 3 months time period, right? Now, once we have broken down those year, which is consisting of 12 months into 3 months each, now it's important to break down these 3 months into 1 month each, right? So on month by month basis. So let us break down the information with respect to start of month. And finally, a month can be broken down into an average of 4 weeks. Let us come up with it, breaking down the information with respect to start of week as well. Then if you want to come up with a date as well with respect to a date, what is the number of customers we're getting? That information as well you can see, right? So let us look into this information. So on a specific date, that is 20th, on 20th of January in 2020, we were getting total number of 6 customers, right? In a similar way, on 22nd January, we were getting 9 customers, or we did sale with 9 customers. So we can come up with such kind of information, right? I mean, if it's completely up to you how much accurately you want to show this information, or how much level of granularity you need to come up with, or you want to come up with while showing the details in front of the executive, right? So it's completely up to you. Let us look upon this information by clicking on this drill up option, and let me show you the details on the basis of start of quarter and then on the basis of start of year. Okay, so you can show the information like this now, just because we are not exactly coming up with this. So at this point we have actually so you can simply break it down to the lowest level of hierarchy, and then if you are just breaking it down to the lowest level of hierarchy, then you will get to see that now your information is being broken down. So with respect to date, on the basis of date basis, right? So at this point, you can see the information getting broken down, that what is the number of customers I'm getting on month by month basis, right? So it's completely up to you how you want to show this information. If you want to show it on weekly basis, and that's how you can show the information. But if you want to simply come up with this, with the solution of this objective, wherein first of all they were asking us this question that you have to use the chart header to drill up and drill down to explore trends at each level of granularity. That is something we have already looked upon. Then we need to test the drill mode to change the granularity by selecting individual data points in the chart. We have looked upon that as well. Why do some weeks look very low? That is something you need to look upon from your side. You can simply check it out if you want to, right? This information you can simply look upon if you want to via making the use of this week by week basis. Okay, that why the information is why it is coming out to be as low at some point. That is something you can look upon. And then you have to turn off the drill mode and show the chart at a weekly level of granularity by default. Okay, so if you want to show the information that now the drill mode shouldn't be there. So by turning off the drill mode, what exactly we mean to say is that you simply need to come up with this. There's an I option over here as well, right? Okay, so this will be giving you the information about the data if you're just simply go for forwarding with this I option. And the thing is that if you want to come up with the information, or if you want to come up with this line chart wherein the next level of granularity shouldn't be shown. So for that, for turning it off, you can simply delete this date mode, right? You can simply remove the date column, and now you will get to see that now we are not able to get to the next level of granularity. And that is what we mean to say when we are saying that you need to turn off the drill mode, wherein you won't be able to drill down more, right? So that's how exactly you can simply come up with this drill up and drill down kind of tools. You can simply explore it out. At this point, we are showing the information on the basis of week by week basis. And just because I want to showing the title as total customers by month. So let us double click over here. Let me get into my on object formatting, and you can simply click over here. Let us bring in the changes. So I'm not showing the total customers by month, but I'm showing the customers trending. Yeah, you can simply name it as customers trending, right? Let us name it like that. We have successfully renamed our line chart as well into our customer detail report as well. We have looked upon that how we can come up with this drill up and drill down tools. Then we are showing the information on the basis of weekly basis, right? You can turn on the forecasting as well if you want to. There is an option for forecasting into our line chart, which was not something we were getting into the case of area chart, right? So if you want to show the details to the stakeholder that what is the number of customers we are expecting in the upcoming weeks, then that is completely up to you. You can simply turn on, you can go forward with more options, and you can come up with the information like that, right? So that's all you can do from your side if you want to come up with the information like this. And that would be all regarding the solution walkthrough of our drill up and drill down tools. And let us meet in the next video with some more informative content. So thank you.